parsley, and other herbs fresh for months. Hello, it's great to see you again on the Clever Tricks channel. Have you ever bought dill, parsley, or green onions and put them straight into the refrigerator while they were still wet and in their plastic bags? This method of preservation causes vegetables to lose their freshness quickly, easily absorb odors in the refrigerator, and spoil rapidly. As a result, a lot of vegetables have to be thrown away, which is wasteful. Instead, try a simpler preservation method to keep herbs fresh for longer. The most important thing is that the vegetables are completely dry. Do not wash vegetables before storing. Only wash them right before use. I have created subtitles in multiple languages. Please select your preferred language. Comment below and let me know which country you are watching from. It's amazing that we can connect from all around the world. Now we have so many kinds of fresh herbs like these. First, trim the base of the parsley stems, just like you would trim flower stems. This helps the parsley absorb water better. Next, take a small glass or jar and pour some cold water into it. Place this glass of water on the lid of a large glass jar. Next, place the entire bunch of parsley into a larger plastic or glass jar. Now comes the most important step. Position the jar so that the base of the parsley stems is submerged in water. Finally, screw the lid on tightly. That's it. You can do the same with dill. Repeat the process. Cut off the base of the dill stems, place them in a small glass of water, then cover with a large jar or container. Where are you from? It's such a joy that we're connecting from all over the world. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for your support. It's that simple. The vegetables inside will be kept moist and completely protected, almost like a mini greenhouse. As for green onions, use scissors to gently trim the roots. Just a small cut will keep the roots cleaner and allow them to absorb water more easily. Next, trim the ends for easier storage. The remaining steps are exactly the same as with parsley. Place the onion in a glass of water so that the roots are slightly submerged. Then, place a large jar upside down on top to create a humid environment, which helps the onions stay fresh longer. Do the same for lettuce. Place the lettuce stems in the water, just like you would with flowers. Next, place the glass jar upside down over the vegetable leaves. The glass jar helps retain moisture for the leaves. Then screw the cap of the large jar shut. So what are the benefits of this method? The onion bulb will continuously absorb water from the glass, thus preserving its moisture, green color, and natural nutrients. To keep your vegetables fresh, change the water in the glass every 2 to 3 days or when the water becomes cloudy. You can store the jar of vegetables at room temperature or in the refrigerator. The jar will protect the vegetables from dry air and unpleasant odors, helping them stay fresh longer. Before using, wash the vegetables thoroughly. Paris, dill, and lettuce can stay fresh for up to 2 weeks this way, and green onions even longer. If you don't have a large jar like that, don't worry. There's another method that's also very effective. Just take a few small cups or jars and pour some water into the bottom. Add green onions. Dill. Parsley. And lettuce inside. Then cover the mouth of the cup with a Ziploc bag. And secured with a rubber band to retain moisture. This method helps vegetables stay fresh much longer. This method is very simple. It's best to store it in the refrigerator. When packaged in this way, vegetables will stay fresh longer, as if they were in a small greenhouse. This prevents the vegetables from drying out or wilting, keeping them fresh for a longer period. If you have a refrigerator, place the cup of vegetables inside to keep them cool. Otherwise, simply leaving them in a cool place in the kitchen will still work. Some experts recommend washing vegetables with a baking soda solution before storing them to remove impurities and pesticide residue. I tried this method and found it very effective. Here's how to do it. Prepare about 1 liter of cold water in a large basin. Add 1 tablespoon of baking soda. Stir well until completely dissolved. Once the solution is ready, gently soak the fresh vegetables in it for about 10 minutes. This helps remove dirt, bacteria, and reduce pesticide residue. This is especially helpful if you often buy vegetables at the market. After soaking, rinse the vegetables under clean running water. This is a simple method that helps keep vegetables cleaner, safer, and fresher for longer during storage. It's worth noting that baking soda is also used in gardening as a mild fungicide, helping to slow down the spoilage of vegetables. Bacteria and fungi are the main causes of vegetable spoilage, so reducing them will help vegetables stay fresh longer. After washing, the vegetables need to be completely drained. Use a paper towel to gently pat dry before storing. This step is extremely important for keeping vegetables fresh, as excessive humidity promotes mold growth and causes vegetables to spoil quickly. Place a layer of paper towels at the bottom of the food container. Then add the parsley as instructed in the video. Parsley prefers contact with 100% cellulose paper rather than plastic. Close the lid and place it in the refrigerator. That completes the step of preserving fresh vegetables. Do the same with the remaining vegetables. Now let's explore another great tip. Place the dill on a piece of plastic wrap. Squeeze out all the air and roll it up tightly. The tighter you roll it, the longer the vegetables will be protected. Do the same with green onions, dill, and lettuce. Then put the vegetables in the refrigerator. That's amazing! Parsley and other herbs can stay fresh for up to 2 months. Simple and effective, right? With this method, vegetables are always ready to use without worrying about wilting or losing their aroma. The next method is a bit unusual but very effective. First, immerse the vegetables in a bowl of water or rinse them gently under running water. Do not squeeze too hard, as this will bruise the vegetables. Then, gently shake to remove excess water. At this point, the vegetables should be free of standing water but still slightly damp. This is the ideal moisture level to keep them fresh longer without becoming soggy. If vegetables are too wet, they will quickly become soggy. If they are too dry, they will wilt quickly. Next, take a long piece of paper towel or piece 2 to 3 sheets together to make it wide enough. Lay the table flat. Gently place the dill on the towel, spreading it into a thin layer. Note, do not pile the dill in a heap, as moisture will be trapped, causing it to develop an unpleasant odor quickly. Begin rolling from the top of the towel. Roll very gently to avoid crushing the leaves. The tightness should be just right. If it's too loose, the towel won't retain the necessary moisture. If you pack it too tightly, the vegetables will get bruised. You'll have a neat and clean roll of vegetables like a vegetable mat. Do the same with parsley. And finally, green onions. Green onions are long, so you can cut them in half for easier storage. Place the vegetable rolls in a Ziploc bag or airtight container. If using Ziploc bags, squeeze out all the air to create a stable environment for the vegetables. Place the vegetable rolls in the bottom vegetable drawer of the refrigerator. This area has the most stable humidity, helping the vegetables stay fresh. Shelf life, 10 to 14 days. When needed, simply cut a small section from the vegetable roll. Very convenient and clean, suitable for busy people, mothers, and those who cook every day. This method helps vegetables retain their green color for longer, prevents them from wilting or becoming slimy, and preserves their natural aroma better than putting them directly in plastic bags. Safe, simple, and easy for anyone to do. This tip for preserving fresh herbs is very practical and easy to apply at home. Don't throw them away just yet, as that would be wasteful. First, prepare a large bowl of water. Add 1 tablespoon baking soda. Stir until dissolved. Then add green onions. Soak for about 7 to 10 minutes. Green onions sold in the market are often sprayed with chemicals to make them look green. Eating too much can cause nausea or even diarrhea. Soaking them in baking soda will help wash them away and remove most of the remaining chemicals. After soaking, gently rinse each stem. Scallions are often sprayed with a fungicide called Bordeaux mixture. If they are sprayed heavily, you may see dark green spots on the leaves with the naked eye. Change the water and rinse 1 to 2 more times to ensure cleanliness. Where are you from? It's such a joy that we're connecting from all over the world. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for your support. Then, when clean, remove the green onions and place them in a basket to drain completely. You can use a paper towel to absorb excess water. Drying is important because moisture will cause onions to spoil quickly. Then, prepare the glass jar. Mix 1 teaspoon of salt into 200 milliliters of water. Add the spring onions with the roots removed. Place the bowl of onions in a cool place or in the refrigerator. Note: only submerge the roots. Do not submerge the stems as they can easily become waterlogged. Change the salt water every 12 to 24 hours. Storage: 3 to 5 days. Preserving lettuce by vacuuming. Fresh, crisp lettuce is a great addition to salads and snacks, but if not stored properly, it can quickly wilt, become soggy, or turn brown. Vacuum packing is one of the methods used by experts and restaurants to keep lettuce fresh for a long time while still maintaining its crispness and natural green color. When buying lettuce at the supermarket, you should choose fresh lettuce with crispy leaves and firm roots. Remove damaged or wilted leaves. Think of them as the lettuce's sacrificial shield, the leaves that have endured all the bumps, scratches, and temperature changes during shipping. Separate each lettuce leaf. Rinse lettuce gently under cold running water to remove dirt. Be gentle, as this step can affect how long your lettuce will last. If you leave any rotten leaves in, they will rot and contaminate the rest of your lettuce. Pour water into a large bowl. Add a pinch of salt and a teaspoon of baking soda. Stir until dissolved. Next, soak the entire lettuce in this solution. Soak for about 10 minutes. Baking soda is alkaline, which helps remove pesticide residue, while salt has antibacterial properties. These two ingredients combined help clean lettuce effectively, removing dirt and insect eggs. Note: do not soak for too long to avoid the leaves from getting waterlogged and wilting easily. After 10 minutes, rinse the greens under running water. Be gentle as they can bruise easily. Shake lettuce gently to remove excess water. Use a paper towel or cotton towel to dry each leaf, especially the base. Tip: Vegetables must be completely dry before vacuuming. Leaves that are still wet will easily rot and create an unpleasant smell. Put in a zip bag, do not stuff too tightly. Keep the leaves naturally arranged. Do not press too hard so that the vegetables do not get crushed. I used a straw to suck all the air out of the bag. Do not suck too hard to crush the leaves. Suck just enough to remove air and keep the natural shape of the leaves. Place vacuum-sealed lettuce bag in the refrigerator, 1 to 4 degrees Celsius. Avoid placing near foods that produce ethylene gas, apples, bananas, tomatoes, as this will cause the leaves to age quickly. Vacuum-packed lettuce stays fresh for 7 to 10 days and still crisp and cool. I find this a small but truly magical trick. In just a few simple steps, you have fresh, crunchy, beautiful green leaves, very convenient for busy kitchens or pre-prepared salads. This is a professional method that is worth using at home if you want your lettuce to always be crisp, fresh, and clean, especially when preparing it for the week in advance. Wrap the cilantro in kitchen paper towels. Spread a paper towel on the table. If you have a lot of vegetables, you can fold it in half or use 2 to 3 sheets on top of each other. Place the cilantro on a paper towel and roll it up gently. Make sure the leaves and stem are covered, but not too tightly. Put the vegetable rolls in a zip bag or plastic box. Cover loosely. Do not seal completely to avoid air tightness. Store cilantro with a few slices of onion. It may sound strange, but this is a great secret that many housewives in America use to keep herbs fresh for a long time. Simply add a few thin slices of onion to your container of cilantro. The natural sulfur compounds in onions inhibit bacteria and mold, helping the vegetables to spoil more slowly. Small note: just a few slices of onion are enough. Too much can overpower the cilantro flavor. Cover the box and place it in the crisper drawer. You can replace the onion slices every 3 to 4 days. It's such a joy that we're connecting from all over the world. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for your support. I was skeptical at first, but the results really surprised me. The vegetables did not smell of onions at all, and they stayed fresh for almost 10 days. The roots were still firm and green. A strange but really effective trick. Pick and wash the green onions. Then remove and drain. Chop green onions depending on the purpose of use. Put the onions in a clean bowl. Put in a mixing bowl with 2 to 3 tablespoons of cooking oil. Scoop onion and oil mixture into each ice cube tray. Place the tray in the freezer to freeze. Once frozen, you can take the onion balls and put them in a zip bag to save space. Note: suitable for stir-frying, frying because it has oil. This way, it can be preserved for 3 to 4 months. Preservation in a glass jar. If you like neatness and want to keep lettuce fresh for a long time while still being clean, using a glass jar is a very safe and effective choice. Glass helps prevent odors, maintains stable humidity, and also looks very pleasing to the eye every time you open the refrigerator. I separated and washed the lettuce. This is a very important step when using a glass jar. Using a paper towel, gently pat each leaf to remove standing water. In a glass jar, if there is too much moisture, the leaves will quickly become soggy and change color. Choose a jar with a tight lid and adequate capacity. Wash and dry the jar before use. The jar must be completely dry to avoid making the lettuce more moist. Place 1 to 2 layers of dry paper towels at the bottom of the jar. This towel will absorb all the excess moisture during storage. Place each lettuce leaf in the jar, stacking them gently. Do not press down or stuff them full. The leaves need space to breathe. Cover the glass jar tightly. Place it in the refrigerator, preferably in the vegetable compartment. Every 2 to 3 days, you can open it to check if the paper towels are damp and replace them if necessary. The lettuce can stay fresh for 7 to 10 days, even longer if the leaves have been thoroughly drained. I really like the way to preserve lettuce in glass jars because the inside of the jar looks very clean, beautiful, and easy to observe the freshness. Glass jars maintain stable humidity, do not retain odors, and do not get damp like nylon bags. If you do the steps correctly, especially draining, lettuce can stay fresh for a long time while still retaining its crispness and lush green color. This is one of the ways I feel is most worth the effort because the effect is very obvious. If you do not have a box, a jar, or a vacuum cleaner, then plastic wrap is a quick, neat, and convenient solution. This method helps to keep the lettuce's natural moisture without drying out the leaves in the refrigerator wind. Keep lettuce in a bowl of water like a bouquet. If you buy lettuce with the roots still intact, don't rush to put it in a bag or refrigerator. Try arranging it like a small bouquet in a glass of water. This method not only helps the vegetables stay fresh longer, but also makes the kitchen look really green and cute. First, prepare the lettuce with the roots. If the roots are a bit wilted, cut off about 0.5 to 1 centimeter at the bottom with a sharp knife. This is the last cut, then keep it intact. I use a glass jar to preserve. Add about 2 to 3 centimeters of water to the cup. Place the base part submerged in the water. Do not submerge the corn. Cover the leaves lightly with a plastic bag to limit the evaporation of water too quickly. Do not wrap tightly. Place the cup with lettuce in the refrigerator or a cool corner of the kitchen if using immediately. Change the water every 2 to 3 days to avoid bacteria buildup. This method is great if you want to display the lettuce on the table and use it later. The leaves are plump and smooth, as if they were just cut. I am extremely impressed with how effective and beautiful this method is for whole heads of lettuce. You just need to change the water regularly, and the result is always fresh and beautiful leaves. Preservation in zip bags. Use a sharp knife to cut the coriander into short pieces, depending on the dish, usually about 1 to 1.5 centimeters. Prepare a few small zip bags. Place the chopped cilantro in each bag, about the amount you need for one cooking. If you don't want your vegetables to stick together when frozen, spread them out evenly in the bag before freezing. Gently squeeze out the air and seal the bag. If using within 5 to 7 days, keep the zip bag in the refrigerator. I really like this tip because it is both clean and convenient, very suitable for those who cook quickly. Cilantro can stay green for about a week in the refrigerator and can be used for up to 2 months if stored in the freezer, and the aroma will still be retained about 80%. Another way is to cut it into bite-sized pieces. I usually cut a large amount at once for convenience. Short pieces for stir-frying, and finely chopped pieces to sprinkle on soup or fried eggs. Next, I spread the onions evenly in a thin layer on parchment paper and put it in the air fryer. Dry at 90 degrees for about 30 minutes. Every 10 minutes, I open the lid and gently stir the onions to ensure they dry evenly and become crispier. When finished, the onions will be lightly crumbled, crunchy, and still retain their beautiful green color. Only then should you take them out, and remember to let them cool completely before storing them, because if the onions are still warm and you cover them, it will create moisture and they will easily get moldy. Once the onions had completely cooled, I put them in a clean, dry glass jar and sealed the lid tightly. With this method of preservation, onions can be used for 4 to 6 months while still remaining fragrant and not spoiling. Having a jar of dried shallots readily available in the kitchen is incredibly convenient. Just sprinkle a few pinches on fried eggs or a bowl of soup, and the dish instantly becomes more fragrant. For me, this is the best way to make the most of cheap onions. Buy them once and use them for months. Since I started using this method, I hardly have to throw away onions anymore. The third method is a little different. Instead of cooking, I focus on pre-portioning the food for later use. Whenever you need it, just open the freezer and take it out. From the same amount of chopped onions, I divided them into 2 parts. The first portion should be placed directly into a storage container, sealed tightly, and stored in the freezer. Once the food is completely frozen, take it out and shake vigorously to separate the pieces, preventing them from sticking together. This ensures you get the right amount and is convenient. I put the rest into ice cube trays. Divide the onions evenly into each compartment without packing them tightly, then pour in enough water to cover them. Place the tray in the freezer. The action was quite quick, so the fragrance was preserved very well. It's such a joy that we're connecting from all over the world. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for your support. Remove all the air inside using a straw, seal tightly, and store in the freezer. With this method of preservation, onions can be used for 6 to 12 months while still retaining their flavor. I like this method because each piece is like a pre-portioned serving. On busy days, I just take a few pieces and drop them straight into the pot. No need to thaw, the onions melt and release just enough aroma to enhance the flavor of the whole pot of soup. Second method, I make coriander powder for later use. I separate the leaves like this because the leaves are the most fragrant part. I don't throw away the stems and roots, but keep them to make coriander tea, which has a very pleasant aroma and a mild taste. Then, I line the air fryer with parchment paper. Then I spread the coriander leaves out in a thin layer. This step requires a little care, but the result is evenly dried coriander with a beautiful color. I set the temperature to about 90 degrees Celsius and dried it for 30 to 40 minutes. The low temperature helps the herbs dry slowly, preserving their green color and natural aroma. Every 10 minutes or so, I open the pot and gently stir to prevent the herbs from burning or darkening. When enough time has passed, I take it out. At this point, it feels very light. The leaves are crisp and easily crumble with just a gentle squeeze. I let the dried coriander cool completely. I don't rush this step because if I grind it while it's still warm, the powder will easily become damp again. The dried coriander now has a very distinct aroma. Exactly the natural dried herb scent that I really like. I put it in a blender and grind it to the desired fineness. Then, I put the powder into a clean, dry glass jar and seal the lid tightly. It's very convenient to use. Just sprinkle a little on eggs, potatoes, salads, or soups, and the dish will be much more appealing. You don't need much, just a small amount is enough to enhance the flavor. I store the jar in a dry, well-ventilated place. Making my own coriander powder gives me peace of mind. It's clean, fragrant, and free of preservatives. Coriander powder is very convenient, especially on days when I need to cook quickly. Each time you cook, just open the bag, sprinkle lightly on the dish, quick and easy without worrying about the herbs spoiling. Store in a glass jar. Use a sharp knife to cut the vegetables into 1 to 1.5 centimeters pieces. You can mix the leaves and stems together or separate them to use in each dish. Prepare the glass jar. Gently add chopped cilantro to the jar. Do not press it down. Give it some breathing room. Close the jar tightly. Place the jar of vegetables in the refrigerator, away from cold places or the refrigerator door. I really like this tip because the glass jar retains the moisture and natural scent of coriander very well, and doesn't retain the smell like plastic bags. The herbs stay fresh for a long time and look lush and lovely every time you open the fridge. If stored properly, coriander in a glass jar can last for up to 10 to 12 days. Preservation with cold water. If you want the lettuce to stay fresh and green like when you first bought it, soaking it in cold water and then storing it in a specialized refrigerator is one of the gentlest and most effective tips. The method is also very simple, it only takes a few minutes. Here, I have separated the lettuce leaves from the roots. First, rinse under running water to remove dirt and sand from the outside. Wash gently so the leaves don't get scratched. Prepare a bowl of very cold water. If you have a few ice cubes, that's even better. Soak the lettuce for 5 to 7 minutes. Cold water helps the leaves stay fresh longer, become crispy again, and reduces thermal shock after washing. Why do you do this? Lettuce leaves are very thin and lose water easily. Cold water helps stabilize the leaf structure, keeping them naturally crispy. Take the lettuce out and let it drain in a colander. If you have kitchen paper towels, gently blot each leaf. The less excess water, the longer the lettuce will stay fresh. Choose a plastic or glass container or one specifically for vegetables. Line the bottom with a thin layer of paper towels. The paper towels will absorb excess moisture, which causes vegetables to quickly rot. Place each lettuce leaf in the container, stacking them gently so as not to crush them. Don't stuff it too tightly. The leaves need room to breathe. Cover it, but not too tightly, if it's not a special container. Place the container in the crisper drawer of the refrigerator. This is where the humidity is optimal. Avoid storing it near foods with strong odors like onions, garlic, or raw meat. This way, lettuce can stay fresh for 5 to 7 days, or even longer if you change the paper towels every 2 to 3 days. Preserving with cold water and a dedicated refrigerator is one of the gentle but powerful tips. I like it because it's quick and doesn't require any special tools. keeps lettuce leaves crisp and green without getting waterlogged. The dedicated storage box also helps air circulate better, so lettuce stays naturally fresh longer than usual. If you want to keep lettuce for a whole week without yellowing leaves, this is the method I absolutely trust. Sometimes when I find something cheap, I buy so much that I can't use it all. And this is how I deal with the leftovers. I mixed 1 teaspoon of baking soda into a basin of clean water and stirred until the baking powder dissolved. Simply soak in a diluted solution for 5 to 10 minutes, then rinse thoroughly to maintain freshness and crispness. Baking soda helps clean dirt and grime and is more effective than plain water in reducing pesticide residue on onions. Wash the onions thoroughly in water. Then let it drain completely. This step is more important than many people think. If the onions are still damp, the drying process will take longer and they will spoil more easily. Few people realize that the white base of the green onion is actually the soul behind the flavor of many dishes. Compared to the green leaves, the white stem has a much stronger aroma. When sautéed or stir-fried, it releases its fragrance in just a few seconds, making soups sweeter, porridges more aromatic, and stir-fried dishes noticeably more appealing. Therefore, instead of cutting everything together in one place, separate the white stem portion. It's just a small change, but the difference in each meal will surprise you. The green leaves should be cut into bite-sized pieces. Don't chop them too finely, as they will easily become mushy and lose their texture after freezing. If you often use it for fried eggs or porridge, you can chop it a little finer according to your preference. Before putting it in a Ziploc bag, there's an important step that many people often overlook: thawing. Spread the onions evenly on a tray. Place in the freezer for about 1 to 2 hours. Wait until each onion slice is completely frozen before removing and packaging. Thanks to this, you only need to take the exact amount you need each time. No clumping, no waste. Finally, place the white stems in a separate Ziploc bag, the green leaves in another. Squeeze out the excess air before sealing, and then lay the bags flat in the freezer. Onions can be stored for 2 to 3 months, and the best part is that you don't need to thaw them before use. Just take out as much as you need, seal the package, and you're done. Just spend 15 to 20 minutes preparing onions when they're cheap. It saves time and preserves their flavor, and you'll be surprised how much tastier your everyday meals become with this small habit. Pour water into a large bowl. Add a pinch of salt and a teaspoon of baking soda. Stir until dissolved. Next, soak all the coriander leaves in this solution. If you plan to save the roots for replanting, you can cut them off or leave them intact while soaking. Soak for about 10 minutes. Baking soda is alkaline, which helps remove pesticide residue, while salt has antibacterial properties. These two ingredients combined help clean coriander effectively, removing dirt and insect eggs. Coriander is rich in vitamins and minerals, so washing it properly will help it stay fresh longer. After 10 minutes, rinse the herbs with clean water. Be gentle as the greens can bruise easily. you may need to rinse 2 to 3 more times with clean water to ensure they are completely clean. After washing, drain the vegetables. The drier they are, the longer they will last. If it's still damp, pat it dry with a paper towel. The cilantro should now be clean and dry. You can chop it up and use it in your favorite dish, but wait, let's look at some other preservation methods, especially the fourth one. Let's get started. Preserving coriander in water. Have you ever thought about preserving coriander in water? It's actually very simple. Prepare a glass jar or cut the top off a plastic bottle. I used a mason jar here. The size depends on how much vegetables you want to keep. Pour about 5 centimeters of water into the jar. I used 2 jars. I have 2 types of vegetables, with roots and without roots. You can use this method for both. Put each bunch of coriander in the jar. Looks like a pretty little bouquet of green flowers, right? Next, lightly cover the cilantro with a zip-top bag or large plastic bag. Then put in the refrigerator. The greens will stay fresh for 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the quality when you bought them. If the roots are still attached, you can even leave them out in the cool, dry place without refrigeration. When needed, take just enough, the rest remains fresh. Convenient, right? Soak coriander roots in diluted sugar water. This is a super cute tip because you are feeding your veggies to keep them fresher longer. Store lettuce in plastic wrap. This method is great for whole lettuces, especially Lolo, iceberg, or romaine lettuce, because the plastic wrap helps retain moisture and prevents air from wilting the leaves. First, gently rinse the lettuce in cold water. Then, drain thoroughly. You can use paper towels to absorb the excess water. Drying is extremely important. If the leaves are still damp, the moisture will be locked in the plastic wrap, causing the lettuce to rot quickly. Once the lettuce is dry, use plastic wrap to wrap tightly around the cut surface or around the entire plant. The plastic wrap naturally retains moisture in the leaves, preventing them from wilting. At the same time, it prevents cold air from sucking moisture from the lettuce, keeping it crisp longer. Once the lettuce is dry, use plastic wrap to wrap tightly around the cut surface or around the entire plant. The plastic wrap naturally retains moisture in the leaves, preventing them from wilting. At the same time, it prevents cold air from sucking moisture from the lettuce, keeping it crisp longer. Just a few wraps of plastic wrap will keep the lettuce fresh and green. The leaves will still be crispy like newly picked, even after more than 10 days. This is definitely one of the easiest tips to apply that everyone should try. When I bring onions home, the first thing I do is spend a few minutes picking out any bruised, wilted, or broken stalks. It may sound insignificant, but just a few damaged stems are enough to cause the roots to quickly become slimy, smelly, and spread the odor to the entire bundle. I used to skip this step and ended up throwing away an entire bag of onions. What a waste! After trimming, the bunch of onions looks much neater and greener. At this point, I gently wrapped a dry paper towel around the white root section. This is where the most moisture is secreted and is also the first to be damaged. Paper towels will absorb excess moisture, helping the roots stay dry and fresh longer. I did the same with all the remaining onions. After wrapping the roots, I continued to wrap the onions with plastic wrap, squeezing out all the excess air. After wrapping the roots, I continued to wrap the onions with plastic wrap, squeezing out all the excess air. Where are you from? It's such a joy that we're connecting from all over the world. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for your support. Do the same with the remaining bunches of onions. Do the same with the remaining bunches of onions. Since I started using this method, my onions last for 7 to 10 days, or even longer if they were very fresh initially. Each time I cook, I only take out the exact amount I need. The roots are still clean, the leaves are still green, and they only need a quick rinse before use. This trick doesn't require any special boxes or tools, but it saves me from having to open the cupboard and find my onions wilted and their roots rotting, forcing me to throw them away. Always having fresh onions on hand. It sounds simple, but it can actually change quite a lot in the kitchen. Prepare a glass jar, add half a teaspoon of sugar. Then add water and stir well. Then soak the coriander roots in the jar. Place this jar in the refrigerator away from direct wind. Change the water every 2 days and mix new sugar water. Sugar helps provide energy to vegetable cells, thanks to which coriander retains its crispness and natural green color for much longer. Lettuce salad is always a great choice for days when you want to have a light meal. It is both healthy and extremely easy to make. With just a few simple ingredients, you will have a bowl of cool, crispy salad. Separate each lettuce leaf and wash gently. Soak in cold water for 5 minutes to make the lettuce crispier. Remove and drain or pat dry with paper towels. Chop the lettuce. Cut the tomatoes into wedges or thin slices. Cut the cucumbers into round slices. Cut the carrots into round slices. I suggest a simple, easy-to-eat sauce recipe that goes well with all vegetables. 2 tablespoons olive oil, 1 tablespoon lemon juice or 1 tablespoon apple cider vinegar, ½ tablespoon honey, 1 pinch of salt, 1 pinch of pepper. Stir well until the mixture is well blended. You can increase or decrease the honey lemon according to your taste. If your family likes sour or sweet, it's easy to adjust. Put the lettuce in a large bowl. Add the tomatoes, cucumbers, carrots, and the toppings you prepared. Drizzle the sauce on top. Mix gently from bottom to top so the vegetables don't get crushed. The salad is best eaten immediately after mixing. At this time, the lettuce is still crispy. The vegetables are fresh and the sauce is very attractive. Lettuce salad is always a light but full of flavor choice. I like this recipe because it's extremely easy to make. Anyone can make it the first time. Crispy lettuce mixed with lemon and olive oil dressing, very light. You can change the toppings as you like, and it's always delicious. If you want a quick, healthy, and time-saving dish, this is a great choice. Isn't it great? Which method do you like best? Leave a comment. Do you have any other preservation tips? Please share so everyone can learn. This method also helps you save a lot of money when buying vegetables. If you find this video helpful, please like it, turn on notifications, and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for your support. Goodbye and see you in the next video.